Have you ever seen the 1949 drama The Heiress, starring Olivia de Havilland, Montgomery Clift and Ralph Richardson? You should! It's a masterpiece.
Oh, that's very proper.
Set in the 1840s, it's about Catherine Sloper, a plain rich young woman who falls in love with Morris, a charming young man who looks beyond her plainness and averageness in all areas and loves her for her soul. Aww. Did I say soul? I meant money. Catherine's aunt Lavinia approves of the match and does all she can to help, but Catherine's father Austin doesn't think any handsome man could ever take a minimal interest in such a vanilla girl, so he forbids the marriage. And it's directed by William Wyler, one of the supreme titans of film direction.
Well, don't forget, I'm a Heiress.
Heiress?
Yeah, someone who inherits a lot of money.
I could make a video about any and every aspect of the Heiress. There's not a blemish anywhere. The editing is always invisible and finely timed.
Could you please cut off the head?
Yes, miss. Kitty, 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 kitty. There you are.
Thank you.
The cinematography is dramatic and somber, with strong shadows but never noirish. I partly talked about the acting, going over how Olivia de Havilland develops Catherine through changes in her vocal inflection.
He fears that you do not like him.
When would you like to marry me?
I could definitely make a video about the screenplay. It's pure perfection here. Characters give away their personalities with carefully chosen words.
Won't make my fortune.
You mustn't be too much bent on a fortune.
Props play important parts in the story. All characters intelligently show multiple sides. Let me put a pin in the screenplay. It's even got a beautiful Oscar-winning score by Aaron Copland. Or maybe by Aaron Copland, who knows? But this video is about the perfect direction. If a great writer such as, say, Henry James carefully selects every little letter to build a sumptuous sentence with no extraneous pieces, such is the way William Wyler builds his shots, as a feat of precise engineering with each detail getting the utmost care and planning.
But you're sumptuous, opulent.
I'll go over 5 impressive aspects of Willie's direction. His profound use of depth in the image, how he builds a clear sense of geography, the space where the story plays, his camera always being in the correct spot, the importance of body language, and because I can't let my baby unattended, his dramatic and interesting use of blocking. These aspects are all interconnected, so as I move along, always keep the previous ones in mind.
You know the doctor is a man of fine taste.
In the 30s, William Wyler was one of the early proponents of staging scenes in depth. He often worked with Greg Toland, the legendary cinematographer who deepened cinema's use of depth more than anyone in history, culminating in that film that's kinda famous a bit. Alongside long, wide shots, depth is a major trait of Wyler's style. He likes to position actors in different layers of the frame, giving volume to the image, as interactions occur across distances, be they small or great.
Bolt it, Mariah.
Bolt it?
Bolt the door, Mariah.
Even an angle as mundane as the over-the-shoulder shot is richer in the Heiress. Depth gives the sense that the world of the movie is greater than the camera can show at any particular moment. Characters can arrive from behind the camera, or have their presence shown only partially on the corner, insinuating more narrative space.
You're very kind, sir. Most great doctors are too busy to see the illness under their noses.
And does this film know how to use space? Most of the story takes place in Austin's large Italianated Greek revival house, and helped by depth, William and his DP Leo Tover map it out flawlessly across their wide shots. Here's the very beginning. The front door tells you it's the residence of Dr. Austin Sloper. The next shot simply shows where the stairs are located. The next one, closer, shows the mirror on the landing. Convenient to see Catherine coming down from the second floor. And that there's a third floor. Now we cut to Austin's study. Depth reveals Catherine leaving to the back. We pan with Austin to the door. Cut to the back parlor, where we keep following him as he does various activities while talking to Lavinia. He picks up a roll of paper on the right
Birth certificate.
and a flower from the middle of the room.
Perhaps you could persuade Catherine to join in freely with the young people.
Just as he's walking to the back, the maid arrives with his hat, cane and case. He leaves to the back door, the route Catherine took, remember? Cut to Catherine buying a fish outside, but depth shows Austin leaving the house. In only 6 shots we went from the front door to the back of the house, with a little stop on the stairs, all while receiving story throughout. The geography of the location delivered in an incidental fashion. There's no need for extra shots showing the place when some wide angles and camera motion during dialogue work just as well.
Enjoy yourself.
Now in this shot, notice how easily it connects the front door to the 3rd floor. A view from the landing, a simple tilt up, and there's Lavinia leaving her room. The perfect angle. And on that note, the camera is always in the right angle. And it's in the right angle, of course, because the whole set is built and dressed to make it the right angle. The actors are positioned to make it the right angle. When Catherine is crying desperately around the room, we see it from a little up the stairs. Why? It's far enough to catch enough of that room, and when Lavinia closes the sliding doors, the action puts a clear end to the scene. If we were inside, it wouldn't have the same effect. In another moment we see Catherine arriving from this angle. It's ideal to show her noticing Morris's glaring top hat. Later we see Austin arriving from a similar angle. He also doesn't fail to notice. In fact, you could point out how Catherine takes a beat to notice while Austin does so even before the cut. She's naive after all, and he's worldly. Very sophisticated editing, and acting, and directing. But I'm going too far at this point. What matters for now is that the angle shows the arrival, the hat, and the discovery all at once. And now it's time for Directing Challenge! How would you show Catherine embroidering while her father walks to the back parlor, and once he's gone, she looks crossly at him? 9 out of 10 directors would shoot a close-up of her, maybe a close-up of the embroidery, then Austin, probably in one of those awful moving close-ups from behind. Then a close-up of Catherine, looking. But something tells me you've been studying staging in depth for the last minutes, so maybe you'd position Catherine embroidering in the foreground, while we watch Austin walking all the way to the back. A single take. Right track. But then when she turns to look at him, you wouldn't see her face, she turned her back to us. Here's how Willie wins. He places a mirror right next to Catherine's embroidering station. That way we can see her work, her father leaving, and her reaction. All from the same angle. Perfection! Mirrors are the most convenient of tools. I made a whole video about them. The Heiress has that mirror we've seen on the landing, allowing Catherine to check herself as she goes down. The mirror in the front parlor, for our super effective angle. From another angle, you can see Lavinia coming down the stairs. The entrance has 2 opposing mirrors. One lets you see from the parlor Morris leaving. The other one lets a love-struck Catherine look at herself, before noticing something down off-screen. A simple tilt reveals that Morris forgot his gloves. Actually, he definitely didn't forget them. He left them on purpose so she'd think of him. The script is that sharp. But I should be talking about the direction. A brief pause to say that in case you're learning something, seriously consider joining my Patreon. Talking about the mise-en-scène of black and white films from the 40s isn't the most algorithm-friendly thing on earth. So a little support will make sure these analyses can keep coming. In any case, liking and subscribing also help.
They're the most beautiful things I've ever had.
Moving on. A perk of shooting long wide takes is that the actors have the chance to act with more than their faces. This film is a lesson in body language. One of Catherine's major traits is that she's clumsy.
Oh dear, I'm so clumsy.
And by allowing action to play out in full, Wyler shows the difficulty she has in doing the simplest things. Austin, on the other hand, is a fully elegant gentleman. Every little gesture instinctively calculated and effortlessly accomplished. But he spills a drop here. Ha! Not so perfect now, are you? Whenever he sits down, you see him taking his chair to a preferred position and pulling his coattails forward. Like a real gent. When he's bothered by his daughter's engagement, his unease visibly escapes to his hands, killing softly his composure. His eyebrows also get a shock. He even accentuates his discontentment with objects in hand.
I see no reason to prolong this trip. Do you?
He makes sure to drop Morris's expensive gloves right before the core of the matter, money.
The man's a fortune hunter. All he's interested in is her money.
When money-grubbing Morris courts Catherine, at first he leans forward and she leans back.
I'm not very good at this kind of conversation.
But after kissing, she gets comfortable around him, even playing with his lapel. Through visible action and movement, the characters show the development of their relationships and feelings visually. That's blocking. And this film's blocking is top tier. During the early stages of their courtship, Catherine keeps evading Morris. In this moment, the camera pans alongside her to reveal the back parlor. A couple lines later, Morris wants to play the piano. And guess what has just been added to the frame not 20 seconds ago? Remember how the camera is always in the right spot? Remember how the geography of the house is crystal clear? Remember how important is depth? All working together. In a similar moment, Catherine is lashing out against her father, who brings the camera to the left. He threatens to alter his will. She calls his bluff and goes after some writing material. Writing material being found exactly in that direction. The direction that has just been made visible by the blocking and the camera motion. The director knows everything that will happen in the screenplay, and knowing it, he can guide the actors, the camera, and your eyes. Mind the interplay between all four characters in this modest take. From left to right, Catherine, Morris, Austin, and Lavinia. The ones on the margins in the foreground. Austin allows Morris to talk to Catherine and steps to the left, closer to the camera, in opposition to Morris. He silently acquiesces to Morris giving Catherine a gift by turning away from him to us. Now the scene has two dramas, Morris explaining his gift to Catherine in the middle of the frame, and Austin maintaining some supercilious dignity foreground left while Lavinia checks on him from the right. One 50-second shot, almost static, but full of visual drama which ping-pongs your eyes around the frame. Now a more elaborate moment. When Austin tells Morris why he forbids the marriage, the scene is like a dance. Morris crosses over from right to left, turning a profile American 2 shot into an over-the-shoulder medium shot. Austin changes positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 close-ups in between, 5 times. Now their layout is even more confrontational. Morris sits, stands up, Austin sits. His hands always revealing his discomfort. He stands up to pick up Morris's gloves, which he does with a full revolution around the sofa, placing himself on the left. Now on the right as he leads Morris to the exit. As he goes for the door, Morris opens up to make a new over-the-shoulder shot, with greater depth.
You are impertinent.
Everything was divided into noticeable stages. The scene continues with Catherine, but I want to move on to an even more complex one. Austin's talk with Morris's sister, Mrs. Montgomery.
Will he help you with this fortune he hopes to marry? I would stake my life he would not.
The camera is placed behind his desk, a typical wide frame. He takes a chair as he tends to do and sits down. After some over-the-shoulder counter shots, Austin goes out and we realize this angle was ideal to watch him leave through the background doorway. I made a video about that. And to see his dead wife's picture, and to see Montgomery's face as she finds the picture. Austin arrives, bringing Catherine, and it becomes an ensemble staged in depth. The women sit down and Austin closes the door to observe Catherine's talent for conversation.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
He stands between them to end the embarrassment. Time to leave and Montgomery's disappointment gets a close-up. Back to our natural angle, which shows the door and the spot to place the picture of the woman Catherine so clearly isn't. Austin crosses to the left. He leaves the frame and sits into an over-the-shoulder angle, his jittery hand ever visible. The camera did move a lot, but never drastically, so we can consider this a single angle.
Oh, yes, it is.
List with me reasons why we are watching most of this 5-minute scene from this angle. It shows most of the room, of course. It shows the door used both for entering and leaving. It shows Catherine's mother's photo. It shows Mrs. Montgomery's face. It allows Austin to make an over-the-shoulder shot behind his desk. The view is almost from his chair. 5 reasons, more or less. That's good enough, right? Wrong.
Did he help you with the children? No. He enlarged his capacities in Europe. He left his gloves here last night.
This angle also shows Morris's gloves, hidden on Austin's desk from the beginning. His fidgety hand, visible since he sat here. He was itching to pick them up.
He left his gloves here last night. The finest chamois. Look at yours.
If you watch closely, there's an invisible cut as Austin stands up.
He left his gloves here last night.
He confronts Montgomery in another over-the-shoulder shot, now facing the other direction. We close in a bit, and they leave. Now think about all that was accomplished from this simple wide angle from behind his desk. This angle is the gravitational point binding this scene together. If you've ever witnessed mastering the art of presenting drama visually and effectively, this is it.
He enlarged his capacities.
I didn't intend to go on a modern directing rant again, but the Heiress has a 1997 remake, Washington Square, with Jennifer Jason Leigh and Albert Finney. It's not bad, the story is good enough to work on its own. But as you should unfortunately expect, it's directed like every average everything we receive today. Single after single, no sense of depth, no sense of space. I admit mirrors are used creatively a few times, and there are moments of physical acting, when you can see it.
Oh, allow me.
And Maggie Smith steals the show as she always does.
Be gentle.
But as a symptomatic of intensified continuity, there is a one thing at a time approach to the image. Either you show the character or the location, rarely more than one thing at once, creating a depressingly less sophisticated result.
I think, Doctor, you expect too much of people. If you do, you'll always be disappointed.
It's because I know that greatness like the Heiress exists that I don't excuse such mediocrities.
The result is what you see. An entirely mediocre and defenseless creature with not a shred of poise.
If a mortal who walked the same earth we're on once managed to read a scene on paper and raise this level of artistic beauty and proficiency, place each essential element and then some in front of the camera, and deliver so much from so little, why should we accept less? Thank you for watching.